The Obama administration has proudly announced it has achieved its goal of surging more than 10,000 Syrian refugees into the United States before the end of this fiscal year, September 30th. However, that is only a fraction of the much larger refugee migrant surge program put together by the administration and the United Nations to bring hundreds of thousands of refugees to the United States under various designations, as well as granting temporary amnesty to many thousands of Syrians who are already in this country illegally. In a statement released on August 29, President Obama's National Security Advisor Susan Rice stated, "Today, I am pleased to announce that we will meet this goal more than a month ahead of schedule. Our 10,000th Syrian refugee will arrive this afternoon." On behalf of the President and his administration, Rice continued, "I extend the warmest of welcomes to each and every one of our Syrian arrivals, as well as the many other refugees resettled this year from all over the world. We will admit at least 85,000 refugees in total this year, including vulnerable individuals and families from Burma, Democratic Republic of the Congo, El Salvador, Iraq, Somalia, Ukraine, and many other countries." As we have reported previously, Assistant Secretary of State Ann Richer told the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, in 2014, "We expect admissions from Syria to surge in 2015 and beyond." However, following an escalating wave of Islamist terror attacks in Europe, the United States, Turkey, and elsewhere, public outcry over lax to non-existent security screening of refugees forced the US government and the governments of the European Union member states to at least pretend to be carrying out adequate security vetting. Obama's Refugee Express. Bye-bye national security. How did the Obama administration manage to vet all these Syrian refugees in record time? Has it reliably screened out ISIS terrorists and other radical jihadists? The answers to those questions are that, according to the experts, the rush job vetting could not possibly have been adequate, and there is no way it could have screened out those who intend to carry out terror attacks against U.S. citizens. In earlier articles we noted that intelligence experts have testified that the ongoing chaos currently engulfing much of Iraq, Syria, and the Middle East, with millions of homeless, transient refugees, makes it virtually impossible to conduct background checks on the hundreds of thousands of applicants who want to come to the United States. In fact, it is impossible in many cases even to verify their identity or national origin. We cannot even verify that the Syrian refugees are in fact Syrian, or that they legally qualify as legitimate refugees. The New American reported. Top intelligence officials have publicly and privately acknowledged that they have no way to properly vet Syrian refugees to weed out those who may be ISIL/ISIS terrorists, or may have ties to other terrorist and extremist groups. In testimony before a subcommittee of the House Homeland Security Committee in February 2015, the Assistant Director of the FBI's Counterterrorism Division, Michael Steinbach, confirmed that authorities are unable to conduct any meaningful security checks on the Syrian refugees. "It would be impossible to vet the Syrians," he said, "because there is a lack of information, and I just don't think you can go and get it." In responding further to questions about why we can't get that information, Steinbach replied, "We are talking about a country that's a failed state, that does not have any infrastructure, so to speak. So, all the data sets, the police, the intel services you would normally go and seek that information from, don't exist." Representative John Katko, RNY, remarked, and that obviously raises a grave concern about being able to do proper background checks on the individuals coming into the country. "Yes," Steinbach replied. Nothing has changed regarding the chaos in Syria and the region. The Obama administration and the UN claim that their hastily expanded refugee processing center near Amman, Jordan, is handling 600 refugee screenings per day. U.S. Ambassador to Jordan Alice Wells echoes the administration line, insisting that every refugee accepted by the United States has been thoroughly screened and vetted through our rigorous security process. But security experts say that with the extremely chaotic circumstances and the 600 per day crush, it is ludicrous to claim that the security process could in any way be rigorous, or that refugees could be thoroughly screened and vetted. Obama's backdoor amnesty for Syrians already in the United States. The administration's refugee surge program includes a backdoor amnesty scheme that is allowing additional thousands of Syrians who are already in the United States to remain here, without their undergoing security screening. Where are House Speaker Paul Ryan, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and other Republican leaders on this issue? Oh, apparently. Republican congressional leaders last year made a big show of opposing President Obama's plan to rapidly expand the number of Syrian refugees entering the country, but they have been markedly silent about a backdoor effort announced on August 1 by Department of Homeland Security Secretary Jeh Johnson, Polizet's Braden Kirby reported. The new DHS order provides extended temporary protected status for more than 8,000 Syrians living in the United States, permitting them to stay until at least March 2018. Many of these Syrians have come here on legal visas, business, tourist, student, employee, etc., and then illegally have stayed in the country, while others have sneaked across either the Mexican or Canadian border. Among the 8,000-plus Syrians are 5,800 who were granted similar status in 2012, confirming critics' complaints that there is nothing temporary about the Temporary Protected Status, TPS. Rather, it is a de facto backdoor amnesty, and simply another means by which the Obama administration intends to flood the United States with a permanent stream of refugees, migrants. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and House Speaker Paul Ryan both loudly supported a bill last year that would have required administration officials to personally certify that each Syrian refugee was not a danger to national security, Polizet's Kirby reported. Neither Ryan nor McConnell has spoken publicly about the TPS expansion, however, he noted. Obama's hodgepodge nation. The TPS scheme is but one of the many safe alternative pathways the administration is using to circumvent U.S. immigration laws passed by Congress and ruled by executive fiat. We reported in April, here comes the Obama UN refugee surge, rebranded as Safe Alternative Pathways, on the proposal by Beth Ferris, a professor at Georgetown University and advisor to the United Nations Secretary General on Humanitarian Refugee Policy, to avoid the political resistance associated with refugee resettlement by tweaking terminology so that refugees can be officially smuggled into the country under various visa designations, such as medical treatment, student, family reunification, etc. We noted that Professor Ferris told a Brookings Institution conference that the refugee crisis is expected to go on for the next 10-15 years and the United States needs to be taking in 200,000 refugees per year, or 2-3 million. And she explained how officials could tweak our immigration policies to accomplish this more quickly. President Obama appears to be willing to do just about anything if it will further his pursuit of transforming America into what he refers to as a hodgepodge nation. In an interview with the progressive Vox website, Obama told left-wing editor Ezra Klein, of journalist infamy, that over the long term, I'm pretty optimistic, and the reason is because this country just becomes more and more of a hodgepodge of folks. So, despite constantly invoking the themes or promoting unity and opposing divisiveness, President Obama is, in fact, implementing an agenda and policies that are dividing the American people and fragmenting us into the hodgepodge he